Hey everybody, it's Missy with the Hip Kit Club, and I am back with another layout. Thanks for joining me today. I'm using the 2016 December kits, and I already kind of started my design here. My theme for today is get clever with your title, and so I decided to kind of make a really big title and mix and match with some of the thickers in the collection. And I'm going to use a bunch of pictures here in sort of a tilted design, and I've already got the word amazing cut on some of the gray cardstock that's in the cardstock kit, and I'm going to combine the Take Me Away thickers with the Amy Tangerine thickers, and this is going to be my title, Do You Know How Amazing You Are? And I've got 6 black and white small photos there that I'm going to put straight across the top of the title, just like you saw that. And I actually did this design last night before I went to bed, and I didn't stick the thickers down. I just kind of lightly stuck them there, and overnight they sort of stuck more than I thought they would. So anyway, I took them off, and now I'm going to peel this off of my cutting mat, and right away I realized that I didn't think this far ahead that my paper would be cut in two once I peeled it off the mat. I wanted the title to run off the page, but then I started peeling it off the mat and was thinking, oh, wait a minute, now my cardstock is in 2 different pieces, so I've got to do something to get it back into one piece. So I grabbed one of these light purple pieces of cardstock, and I'm just going to adhere the top and the bottom of each piece, and so it's stuck down, but it's still kind of open. And my thought was I wanted to use different pattern papers to back each of the letters, and so amazing each letter would be a different pattern paper. But I grabbed this Take Me Away pattern paper and I slid it in there, and immediately I fell in love with the way that looked. It has all the colors I wanted, and it's a smooth transition from each letter to the next, and it was perfect. So I'm going to leave that one whole paper in there and just glue it all down and go from there. And I love doing this technique with a big title because it actually makes the rest of the layout go a little bit quicker, because you know you can't move this. It's there, it's permanent, and you have to work around it. And so it kind of limits where you can put your pictures and everything else. And sometimes that's a great thing to start with. So I am going to add some mixed media, and I'm just going to start with some white gesso in my finger and just do a lot of smudging here. I'm going to do above and below the word and some of it on top of the word, and it took me a while, but I wanted to make sure that it looked kind of cloudy and faded and not harsh on the edges. So I really had to do a lot of finger smudging. My finger was kind of numb when I finished doing that, but that's okay. The feeling is back now and all is good. So what I'm going to do is combine some of the Heidi Swapp Sweet Mint spray that we got in this month's color kit with some of the Well Blue Me Down shimmers from last month's color kit, just to get a couple of different shades of this really pretty mint aqua color. And I'm just doing what I always do here, the packaging, and I don't want this color to be super bright. I don't want it to take away from the amazing. I just want it to be kind of hazy faded color in the background, and so that's what I'm doing here. And without the white without the white gesso, the spray here would just sort of seep right into that gray cardstock, and you wouldn't really be able to tell the true color of the aqua or the mint. And so the white gesso kind of helps set a white base for all this paint. Now this is some shimmers from my stash. This is a Creamies, and it's called Pugnacious Purple or Paradise Punch. Which one is it? Let me check. Paradise Punch. There is a Pugnacious Purple, but I think that's an Inklings. But anyway, this is a very shimmery, beautiful paint. It's got some shimmer and some sparkle once it's dry, and it's the perfect shade of purple or violet, I guess you could say, lavender, to match the color in this collection. And I love that because purple seems to be one of those hard colors that people shy away from because there's so many different shades of it, and it's just hard to match it perfectly. But I think it's really pretty in this Take Me Away collection, and I wanted to add it onto my background. And so now I'm just going to dab a little bit here and there and just smudge it with my finger. And I love how it looks up next to that aqua mint color as well. This is some of the Pink Stilettos shimmers. It's a real deep pink color. We got that a few months ago in one of the color kits. And there is a deeper pink in this collection, especially in the thickers. If you look over there, you can see them. There's a darker pink. So I added that in. Okay, so off camera, I started some stitching. I had to do something around this word. And I love hand stitching, don't get me wrong, but I did not have the time to commit to the hand stitching today. I needed to get this layout completed today, so I decided to go for the machine, and I did a little bit here on camera. It's hard for me to tell because my camera is above it, but it took some time, but it went quicker than I thought it would. I just had to do a lot of slow stitching and turning the paper here and there so everything lined up just perfectly. And so it's definitely not impossible to stitch around curves because I just did it here so you can see, and it's not perfect, but that's okay. And I love how it looks. I used a dark gray thread, and it just kind of makes the word pop a little more. I think it looks great. I love how that turned out. So now I'm going to come in and work back with my thickers here. Now, the tricky part for me for doing a tilted design like this is making sure everything lines up perfectly, because if one thing is off, you're going to be able to tell it right away. And with diagonal lines, it's hard to get everything lined up straight. So my ruler was a necessity here. And I mess with it for a while, making sure that everything's straight. And in the end, I still don't know if it's perfectly straight, but I accidentally tore my Y in half there. So be careful when you're peeling up your thickers, because they will rip. And I was so happy when I decided on what I wanted my title to be that there were 2 U's on the Amy Tan thickers, and so that worked out really well. And I like the mix and match look. Okay, so now another tricky part was I needed to make sure that all 6 of these pictures were in a perfect line, because if the line was crooked, it would you would see it right away, and that would drive me insane. So I do a lot of measuring with my ruler to make sure that they're straight. I decided to add some foam behind all of these photos here. So now they're all backed with foam, and I'm going to come in and make sure they're straight. And I wanted to jazz up the area behind the pictures, and so I did pull out some of my spools of thread in coordinating colors. I'm going to use yellow, the deep pink color, aqua, and that salmon coral color. And this just adds a little bit of texture, and it adds a little more color up to the top. And I have found that thread is a great embellishment. If you are working on a layout and you notice that one part of your page is lacking in a color of some sort that you want to add, and you don't have an embellishment in that color, add a little bit of thread to it, and it's going to lighten up that area with the color that you want, but it's not going to be too busy, and it's going to add some texture. I just think it's a fun thing to do. Plus, it's a little messy, but you can still make it look neat if you want it to look neat, instead of like it just fell out of the air and landed on your paper. So yeah, okay, I've got lots of thread going on there now. I'm going to start to do the tricky part and glue all of this down, and keep my fingers crossed that they're all straight, because when you do a messy layout and your pictures are kind of, you know, mismatched and not straight on purpose, that's one thing. But when you're doing something like this and you want them straight, you better get out your ruler and measure it, because chances are one of them will be crooked or going downhill or going uphill, and it will just kind of not look right. Okay, so now I'm going to spend some time embellishing, and these are just some of the Take Me Away embellishments and the exclusives that Kim Watson designed for Hip Kit this month. I'm going to add that little Love This title, or not title, tab up at the top. And these little stars match this collection perfectly, but those are Hip Kit exclusives, but they look like they came from the Pink Paisley Paige Evans collection, and I think they're so cute. And I'm just going to add those up at the top because they're small and they look cute up there. And also some of the little acrylic stars as well. And I just glued those down with my glue. That is my Scotch quick dry adhesive in my bottle there. Gonna add a couple of the stars down here in the Z, and then I'm gonna go into the pink paisley sequins, and I just tried to kind of mix and match yellow on yellow and pink on pink and so forth. And I wanted to bring in some of the light mint, and this particular pack of sequins did not have that color. So I went into the stash that we got last month in our Christmas kits and mix and match some of those in as well. And this was just for something extra, you know, just a little added detail down at the bottom. I think I've added sequins on several of my pages lately. They are such a great embellishment, and there's a lot of things you can do with those sequins. I just like to use them for little pops of sparkle and color and just, you know, little subtle hints. But you can do so much with those. And I did decide to break into the, I believe these are Echo Park. I was going to call those brads. They're not brads. Enamel dots. And add a couple of those. The last thing I'm going to do, I did add my journaling, but let me tell you, I had to mess with it a lot to get it straight. So I did that off camera because it was stressing me out, but I got it. And this is also from the color kit. This is the Concrete Shimmerings. It's a beautiful shimmery silver color with gray tones. It's beautiful. And that's going to wrap it up. That's my layout. I love how this turned out. I love how the title looks. It was a lot of fun to put together. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Please let me know if you have any questions about any of this. Here come the close-ups. You can see the stitching really well there and the sequins. I love the stitching. Love, love, love it. Anyway, make sure you check out hipkitclub.net and see the all the beautiful things that are being uploaded on the forum as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a great day.